you will have leads coming to you. You'll have a steady flow. You won't get into the feast and famine situation or be in one of those, really bad situations when you're in a dip and in a famine and you have to go out and make it rain. And it's a bad combination. Well, hey there. I have 5 things for you today that you can do that'll improve your business, make your life easier and more sane, make your business more lucrative. Not suggesting you incorporate 5 new things into your process immediately, but I bet there's 1 or 2 that will hit you in the head as like, oh yeah, those would be good things for me to do. So the first one is to track your timing. So if you work on a project basis or a retainer basis, you want to know how long it takes you to do the things that you do, how long it takes you to create each deliverable. Because if you don't do that, you could be leaking time. Chances are good you are. And, leaking 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there adds up into a lot of money over time. And so you want to be really careful, not only to make sure you're not wasting your time, but it's the only way that you can know what you're actually making. So if you have like an internal hourly that you can use what you really discover to find out, like, what are you really making? And it can be shocking sometimes, which is why it's important to do, because if you don't know this metric, you're not in control of your business. The next thing, ask for referrals. Ask your clients, particularly when somebody that you have done great work with, that you've enjoyed working with, that has enjoyed working with you. At the end of a project, lots of ways you can ask, but something I have found just really simple is like, hey, I loved working with you. You know more great clients, people like you. I would love some introductions, or I'd love to know some people that you think I might contact. If anyone comes to mind, really appreciate that. If you don't ask, you may get, but if you do ask, you are likely to get. People like referring people who do great work. And if you can say that you're expanding your business or just looking for some more really great clients, and great clients know great clients. So that's an easy one. Get testimonials. Make sure you always ask for one. If at any point during your project someone says something flattering, complimentary, ask them if you can use it. Interrupt them, and say, oh, thank you so much for saying that. Hey, would you mind if I use that on my website? And if they say, oh, sure, say, great. You know what? I'll write that up and I'll send it over to you for your approval. Send me back by email that I can use it, and we're good to go. Really simple to do, capture in the moment. If somebody doesn't offer kind words, they may when you wrap up the project. Same thing, ask them. And, especially if someone's like, they're really happy and, they're just going to be happy to do it. Challenge I find is people do not like writing them up. It takes time. They're self-conscious about their writing. They don't know how to express what they just said. And so, I'll tell people, hey, give me a couple of bullets and I'll write it up into something that you can approve. And they love doing that. Or give me a couple of bullets right now, if that's easiest for you. It's like, it's done out of the way. They've done you a favor and you've made it really easy for them. So be sure you ask. And just like a little caveat here, I know people in certain fields like results-based testimonials. You want to be able to say that you've improved or increased something by a certain amount, or, gotten a certain result. Those testimonials will come. They're not always the easiest to get. So, testimonials about working with you, the quality of your work, your reliability, the deadlines, the timelines, the ideas, the consulting, the strategy, all of that stuff has genuine value. And especially as they start piling up and you have a lot of them, like the sheer mass of proof, works in your favor. Have a lead gen system. Be sure that you have a way to make it rain in your business, because if you don't, you're also not in control. If you put something simple in place, it may take a little time to figure out what the right thing is and put it together. But once you have done that, as long as you feed it on a regular basis, and it doesn't take a lot of time, it's a question of being consistent and persistent. But if you do that, you will have leads coming to you. You'll have a steady flow. You won't get into the feast and famine situation or be in one of those really bad situations when you're in a dip and in a famine and you have to go out and make it rain. And it's a bad combination. It's really bad to go looking for something when you really need it. It's much better when you're, kind of cool and aloof and back and you've got your choice. Final thing is build a network. Get to know your colleagues, get to know clients, get to know people in your audience, get to know people in fields that serve your same audience. Get to know people, help people, build a network, give them referrals, be able to refer people that do good quality work. It just pays off in the end. It's just good to know people and to have connections, and especially for those of us who work alone. It's not something that I did for a long time. I didn't understand. I heard people talking about like getting to know the right people and being in the right rooms. And I understood that, conceptually, but I never went out and built that for myself. Well, until I did. I got into one right room, where it was people that I really like resonated with and people that were smarter than me and were further ahead than me and knew more than me that I could learn from. And I was like, I got to be in more rooms. So those are my 5 tips for you. I hope they help. If you have any questions or comments, put them below. And if you'd like to be notified when these videos drop, then click the bell and you will be. All right. Catch you next time.